What is Pax Judaica going to look like? What does the future hold in store? First of all, for the Palestinians, Israel cannot rule the world unless Israel is ruling the Holy Land. Israel has to establish a rule over the Holy Land. And the Palestinians are in the Holy Land. So Israel has to either get the Palestinians, throw them out, throw them in the desert. And if you can't do that, and if you can't kill all of them, then what's the alternative? Answer, slavery. Legal slavery is abolished. But our prophet prophesied that there is slavery in the end time. That's the prophecy. He said a slave woman will give birth to her mistress. So while legal slavery is abolished, factual slavery will remain in the world. De facto slavery. And that has implications for the subject of milk al-yamin. But that's not my topic today. So now then, what the world can expect from Pax Judaica is, number one, the extermination of as many Palestinians as can be exterminated. Number two, the export of as many Palestinians as can be exported. And number three, the enslavement of those who remain. That you are actually slaves, de facto slavery. Number two, this is Pax Judaica within the Holy Land. But what about Pax Judaica outside of the Holy Land in the rest of the world? Israel is small. The United States is big. The United States could have 900, 1,000 bases all over the world. But Israel doesn't have those numbers. So how will Israel establish and impose Pax Judaica on the rest of mankind? How can little Israel rule the rest of the world? Answer, Jesus said, Nabi Isa alayhi salam said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. But Pax Judaica says no. Blessed are the rich, for they shall inherit the earth. So the strategy is to use the rich to control mankind. And if you are rich and you don't fall in line, we'll make you poor. And they have the means to do it. So all around the world now, mankind can expect to become poorer and poorer until you reach destitution. I have found, because I earn my livelihood as a writer, it's a modest livelihood, and I've noticed the sales of books going down and down because people don't have the money to buy books. More and more people say, Sheikh, I want to get a set of books, but I want to pay in installments. I say, sure. So I am seeing the evidence that the noose is tightening around the neck. And those who have wealth, those who have money, will have to serve Israel, otherwise you're going to lose your wealth. So this is the strategy of Pax Judaica. For blessed are the rich, for they shall inherit the earth. The next part of the agenda of Pax Judaica is located in the monetary system. That in the first stage of the three parts of Dajjal, they move towards paper money in place of gold and silver. This is with Pax Britannica. And the British sterling pound then emerged with the Bank of England, 1776, I think the Bank of England was established, and paper money came into being. And they used the British pound to establish their financial rule over the world through monetary economics. And then in the second stage of Dajjal, the US dollar replaced the sterling pound. And that transfer took place 1944 at the Bretton Woods Conference. And so the US dollar replaced the British pound in 1944 as the international currency. And 1945, the UN was born, and then the International Monetary Fund was born. Have you studied the Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund? Well, if you want to study what is riba, and riba is in the Quran, you better study the Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund. The International Monetary Fund says, what Allah made halal, we have made haram. Is that? You don't believe me? And if you make haram what Allah made halal, what is that? Shirk. Yes, shirk. They don't teach this in the Darul Uloom. They don't teach this in the Darul, and yet they shut the doors of the masjid on me. Let's go on. The Articles of Agreement of the International Monetary Fund says that the use of gold as money is now prohibited. So what Allah made halal, because dinar is in the Quran, dirham is in the Quran, okay? What Allah made halal, they have made haram. The reason why they prohibit the use of gold as money is because if real money comes into the market, bogus money will collapse. All right? So now that Pax Americana is in irreversible decline, and the US dollar is in a hospital, in intensive care unit, it should have collapsed already. What comes next? Answer: a world of money in which we no longer have all of these different currencies, British pound and euro, and Pakistani rupee and Bangladeshi taka and Malaysian ringgit. All of these will disappear. And there'll be only one currency. And it won't be money you can touch. No, I can't touch the money. You can't even see the money. Tell me, who would accept money you can't touch, money you can't see, except those who have the intellectual acumen of a donkey? Huh? Am I right or wrong? You have to have the intellectual acumen of a donkey to welcome the cashless world and to say this is progress. Money you can't touch, Money you can't see, digital money. So there'll be only one currency coming. Only one. Uncontrolled by, of course, Israel and her friends. And that is the rope around the neck of all of mankind. If you are resisting Israel, you can lose your money. You have an account, but you can't access the account. You have an account, they block it, using some fig leaf or excuse. And you go to court, you can't get through. They control the courts. So you have money and you can't even buy a chapati. That's coming up. And when they block your account, you come to me, Sheikh, tell me what to do. It's so funny. Sheep and cattle who refuse to think. So what is coming now is not only the rich ruling over the mankind on behalf of Israel, but also a monetary system of digital money through which Israel will continue to rule the world. But in addition to this, Israel also has other agendas for Pax Judaica to prepare for when Dajjal appears in human form, in order for him to stand up in Jerusalem and to say, Ana al-Masih, I am the Messiah. Israel has to expand to encompass the biblical frontiers of the Holy Land. The Torah says that the Holy Land extends from the river of Egypt to the river Euphrates. The Quran and Hadith does not support that. So Israel has to take control. First of all, you take control by proxy, and then you take actual control. That's why the regime in Iraq had to go, Saddam Hussein. They had to attack it. That's why Assad had to go. So you can get a client state in Syria. You now have a client state in Syria. You have a government in Syria which is in submission to Israel, whereas Assad's government was not in submission to Israel. The idiots can continue to contest my views, but they're idiots. My language is harsh for them. Yes, I know, my language is harsh. So now then, we can now expect an incremental approach to the expansion of Israel's frontiers. I am not the expert to tell you how they will proceed. The military expert has to do that. The expert in demographics has to do it, not me. All I can say is that Pax Judaica is now going to show us an incremental expansion, stage by stage, which will expansion of Israel's frontiers. Number two, that the holy state of Israel established by Nabi Dawood and Nabi Sulaiman was a monarchy by divine wisdom. That they were prophets, but they were also kings. King Solomon and King David. And so Dajjal, in order to credibly claim to be the Messiah, will have to transform Israel from a secular state secular democracy into a monarchy. And so we have to anticipate an Israel with a king. And finally, the question, what do we expect from Pax Judaica, is that Israel has to rebuild the temple. So there might be perhaps a convenient earthquake, which will cause Masjid al-Aqsa to collapse. And then Israel rebuilds the temple before Dajjal appears in person.